Hey YouTube, I want to show you how I'm able to grow a bunch of vegetables in my house in the dead of winter in New England. It really doesn't take much to get started. Any little corner will do. Get some shelves, add a grow light, plant some seeds. That's the most important part. You're going to want to make sure you put a cat bed there so he can oversee your budding garden. Soon enough, things will start getting big. Before you know it, you'll actually have some seedlings on your hands. Your cat's going to keep it high on the whole process for you if he's anything like mine. And next thing you know, you're going to have a flourishing garden that your cat really approves of, and you're going to have some tomatoes that really just start getting huge, and you're going to be harvesting tomatoes in the middle of winter. Are you ready? Let me show you how it's done. This is my main growing area. So I'm just in the spare bedroom of my 2-bedroom house. So this space that I'm in right now functions as my office, but now it's the crazy plant lady space. So this is just an inexpensive set of plastic shelves that I picked up at a discount store. And on here, I have a couple of trays of lettuce going. I have some Kratky mason jars set up with some kale and different greens. This lower shelf here, I have tomatoes going. I found that these trays are the best way to grow a lot of lettuce. I started off with different methods, like trying to grow seedlings in a tray like this and grow individual, heads of lettuce or sets of greens. And I quickly found out that they take so long to grow and each plant needs so much space. If you grow your lettuce in trays, you're just gonna get a lot more bang for your buck. I mean, look at all of these beautiful leaves you can grow, and then you just really harvest them as baby greens and they're nice and tender. So this type of tray, these are 10 by 20 nursery type trays, and I have a set of 2 here. So the inner tray that I've actually planted in has holes in it for drainage. And then you just seed the whole tray. So, put your dirt in, seed the whole thing like mad, and then you're actually gonna water from the bottom and separate these 2 trays and pour the water in between. And that way it doesn't disrupt the seedlings as they're trying to get a foothold and start growing. And this way you get a lot of lettuce. This is a mix of like mesclun greens and arugula. And the way that I harvest this is it's just leaf lettuce. So I come in here and snip the most mature leaves. And as I do that, the tray will start to thin out. And as the large leaves get harvested, then it gives the smaller leaves a little bit of a chance to get some light and grow big because they'll be harvested next. And as you can see, I'm keeping everything happy under the grow lights. There's plenty of space under here to grow all kinds of greens, whether you want to use trays or mason jars. And for those of you that want to say I can't grow tomatoes indoors, check out this action. If you invest in a couple of nice grow lights, they should be strong enough for your fruiting vegetables like your tomatoes and your peppers. Greens really have a lower UV requirement, so you can really get away with a less intense light. But for your cucumbers, your tomatoes, you're going to want something a little more powerful. I've got spinach going here, sprouts, kale. On the side, I added another light, and I have some cucumbers started there. So those needed a little more height than the shelves could provide. I started off with the shelves with seedlings and transplants, and I kind of quickly ran out of vertical room. So that's something to think about. These particular shelves are not adjustable. So if you're starting from scratch, I recommend getting probably a set of like those metal baker's rack that are adjustable height. Those would probably be the best thing. Also, these black plastic shelves don't let a lot of light shine through. Whereas if you get something that is like a wire shelving unit, the light will shine down from one shelf to the next. One of the ways that you can help maximize your space is through your variety selection. So this is Territorial Seeds Red Velvet Cherry Tomato. These plants stay very, very small. They have a very small habit, but a high production. These are a great variety for indoors when you don't have a lot of space.
Look at how tiny this plant is in their marketing photo. I mean, it seriously looks like there's more tomatoes than leaves on this thing. And Territorial Seed also has a really small container variety cucumber. It's called the Quick Snack, and this is another one that's going to stay nice and small for you guys that are going in containers, trying to grow indoors. It's just the perfect thing. Look how small. And for both of these varieties, it does say that they are right at home in a 6 or 8 inch container.
So I mentioned that I also have some Kratky hydroponics going here. For those of you that are not familiar, this is a Kratky setup. So it's just a mason jar. It does have to be shielded from UV light, which is why I've chosen the amber jars. And all you do is you put your water and a nutrient solution into the mason jar, put the seedling in there, and then just let it go. It's pretty much set it and forget it. You do need to keep an eye on the water to some degree, but this plant will go for quite a while before the water level gets too low. Look how big this kale is getting already. And it's a tiny little space, and it just fits right here on my shelf. I have a whole row of them. I do recommend, if you're gonna grow indoors, that you get these little sticky traps. They're little yellow sticky traps, and they catch the fungus gnats that are bound to start coming out of your soil once you start bringing soil indoors and planting indoors.
Growing indoors is more easy and enjoyable than you probably realize. With the right setup, you can cultivate a variety of veggies year-round regardless of the weather outside. All you need is some grow lights, a few pots, and quality soil. Lettuce, spinach, and herbs thrive indoors with minimal space and effort. Once you master those, it gets fun to start experimenting with all kinds of vegetables.
Next thing you know, you're going to be looking for any space where you can stick a grow light. So here, I decided to use this wasted space underneath my fish tank. I had some tomato plants that were getting a little crazy and out of control under the smaller shelves I had going in the other room. So I said, here's a place where they can stretch out a little bit, get some more light going, and the lights that I have here are really inexpensive. These came off Amazon, and check it out. This is a metal fish tank. These are magnetic, so they just stick on super easily, and there are independent controls on each light. So I have 2 lights here, and it actually came as a set of 4, believe it or not. They're interconnecting. There is a cord that goes between each light, so you can connect up to 4 of them. They all come in the same box. It was super cheap, and how much on Amazon? It was like under 40 bucks. Yeah, each light has its own control. So you can have 1, you can have 2, you can have up to 4 together. I didn't need 4 together. I ended up putting 2 here, so that means I had to find some more space to stick some more plants. Ta-da! Here we are. So this was actually a plant stand that I already had going with a bunch of houseplants on it. So some of them have been relocated here to the side, some are elsewhere around the house. Some of them got regifted because once I got the gardening bug and I could see how much delicious food I could grow, the houseplants had to go, because I need things that are producing and that are yummy, and so I can just come over here and pick my greens instead of having to go to the store. So I've got some kale going on the lower shelf and some lettuces going on the top shelf. And these lights are the other 2 from the set from Amazon. They're magnetic, and this plant stand was metal already, so they just stick right on. It's super easy, super effortless, and you can set it up in 2 seconds. I do recommend getting a timer. So this is one of those standard timers that has the little pegs going around it for your on-off times, and setting that up really just kind of regulates your light and makes it super easy for you. One of the things I learned with grow lights is, since they're not as powerful as the sun, you do need to keep them on longer than the amount of sunshine a plant would get outdoors. So these babies are on long after dark, and they come on before I wake up. So I have them on, I believe, to come on at 6 a.m. and they go until about 9 p.m. Indoor plants are gonna need anywhere between 12 to 15 hours of light under some artificial grow lights, just to supplement what they would be getting naturally from the sun outside.
Really, any little nook you can find in your house, a tabletop or a shelf underneath the table, you can find some space to stick a plant. Look at all these pepper plants I have going on an unused bottom shelf of a console table in my bedroom. Unused space on the side of a table. Your windowsill is a great place for herbs and other greens that don't require a lot of light. It's a great way to get started without any equipment whatsoever. And hey, that unused spot on your countertop looks perfect to grow some herbs. Once you get a supply of fresh greens in your house, you're honestly never going to want to go back. I mean, you can pick your own fresh salad, you can have tomatoes going. Really, the sky's the limit. A giant tray of greens. Look at all of this beautiful food you could be making. Wonderful, gorgeous salads for yourself. There's so many ways that you can use the things that you grow, even just greens. You can saute them, you can add them to eggs, you can put them in your pasta. There's really so many great ways to use your greens. They're low maintenance to grow, and once you start seeing all of the ways that you can use them, I promise you're going to be hooked. Okay guys, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy gardening!